Please don't spoil the movie by adding your own soundtrack.
And hello, I am Peter Parker.
Peter Parker. Oh. My name is Jimmy Early.
And welcome back to Please Don't Spoil the Movie, a podcast brought to you by sisters who love each other.
Upon occasion.
Yes. What's up, Shawty?
Nothing much. My neck is killing me. But, I don't know, yesterday was Christmas.
Christmas time.
And this is our Christmas episode. So, yeah. What about you? What's up with you?
Nothing much. Work. Holiday season. I'm glad that Christmas is over. I just wish I had more time off.
You go, what's today?
Tuesday.
You go back to work tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
Awful. Just awful.
It's awful.
Just horrible.
Can't stand them, and then they're busy.
Did you watch Saltburn?
I did. I finished it last night.
Without spoiling it.
You didn't try watching it again?
No. How was it?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as
weird as everybody made it out to be.
Yeah, or like hyped up. I don't know. Everyone made it seem like they left the movie theater. Be like,
what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. To me, it was just like
when I watched the trailers, I'm like, what about this movie could be so
terrible?
Weird.
Yeah. To me, it was just Cruel Intentions on crack.
Oh.
And way more money. And instead of messing with rich people, it's like the other way around. It's like this poor guy messing with these rich people. Instead of
I
rich
feel
people,
like you're spoiling it for me now.
No.
So.
No, you didn't.
Don't do that.
Okay. How far did you make it? 10 minutes in?
No, I made it to the part where he arrives at their house. And he sees that freaking weird girl outside. And he's like, oh, I thought you were sleepwalking.
Oh, yeah, you didn't make it far at all. Yeah. I thought that was pretty good.
Okay. Are you binging anything else? Oh my god, my neck is killing me.
I watched this British movie called Fleabag the other day.
It's a movie? It's not a show?
A show called Fleabag the other day.
I was supposed to say.
It's pretty good. I really enjoyed that.
I've wanted to... What is that on?
It's on Prime TV.
I wanted to watch that. She won 12 fucking Emmys for that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to curse. She won 12 Emmys for that show.
Yeah, it's only 12.
It's on two seasons.
Yeah. It's really good.
You finished it?
Yeah, it's really short.
What's it about? She's a horrible person and she's in love with a priest or something like that?
It's just one of those shows where it's about her love life and her family. And the next season the second season she falls in love with a priest. But yeah, just her love life and her sex life. She owns a cafe. Her best friend died.
She owns a cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. How cute. How quaint.
Yeah. But it's just about her life. It's pretty good. I really enjoy it. But yeah, you can finish it in
a day's
day.
Time.
Probably 3 hours, but 5 hours. Only 6 episodes a season. 28 minutes or something like that.
I wonder why it didn't continue on.
I think she said she was done. She when I looked into it, she was like, I wrote everything. Which I kind of get. Because they had another season.
2 seasons, that's it?
Yeah. It's just her life was good by the second one. Besides the fucking priest, but.
Interesting. Anything else you have for us?
No, that's all I've watched. I watched that new movie on Netflix. What's it called? I guess people were saying it was based off of Star Wars. And not people
Never
liked
it.
It's not based off of Star Wars.
What's the name of it?
I'm trying to find out. Oh, Rebel Moon.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. But apparently it's by this is what someone was telling me, Chancellor's brother, that it was by this writer who pitched this movie to Star Wars as one of their episodes, but they didn't want it, so he just did it himself.
That's what the movie's about, or that's what
happened. That's how it made.
Oh, that's how it was made.
Yeah. But it's when you watch it, it gives a little Star Wars.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Rebels and the evil spaceship, and we're fighting against it.
Good for him. I said, I'm gonna make my own movie.
Yeah, but I see why if he presented it the way he did, I see why Disney didn't accept it, because it was very R compared
Rated?
to Disney. You know, Star Wars is not really like, I don't know if people die in it. I guess people die, but there was like rape.
Oh,
Like she didn't get raped, but she was about to get raped. And then like she was like it was just like kind of violent, which is fine. But I was just like, yeah, you can't bring this to Disney.
This Disney Channel.
Yeah, of course it's not. I was trying to think about the worst thing I've ever seen in Star Wars. It's not too bad. I don't know, it's pretty G-rated. And you know the good guy's gonna win. The good guy did win this movie, but I think there's gonna be a part 2 as well. But, yeah.
What's it called?
Rebel Moon.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I think it just came out on Netflix. And there's gonna be a part 2 coming out in April, I think. I don't think it did good, but I thought it was fine. I think the only reason why people maybe could be talking about it is because they're like, this is a Star Wars knockoff. That's fine with me. That's pretty good. I'm interested in seeing the second one.
Interesting.
Yeah. Have you seen anything?
Besides watching half of Saltburn, no, I haven't watched anything.
Not with all your time off?
No. I started watching The Boys, but there's 3 seasons and I'm on the 3rd season and the 4th season hasn't come out yet. And I don't know when the 4th season is supposed to come out, but I know if I finish the 3rd season and the 4th one doesn't come out for like a year or something, I will never watch the show ever.
Yeah, you won't come back.
I'll forget about it. And I'm like, oh.
You should watch the
spinoff.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know if I can do 2. It's just, oh God. The Boys already is just like a lot, like gruesome, just aimlessly killing innocent people. I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can sign up for another show that's based off of this.
That's funny.
So
I'll watch it eventually. Just don't feel like it.
I'll watch it again.
I say I'll watch it eventually. I just don't feel like
I thought you said again. It's good though. It is a good show. I'm curious to see how it will all end. Because I have a feeling this is the type of show where we won't see the evil superheroes that are supposed to be good people. I feel like we won't see the takedown of them. I feel like
probably not.
It won't end how, I don't like it when there isn't a happy ending. And I just already know, I'm like, this dude Homelander is going to walk away scot-free at the end of the show, and I'm going to be freaking pissed.
You need to. Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm surprised you're watching it, to be truthfully honest.
I mean, it is a good show.
Yeah,
once you you can't get invested in any character, any civilian, because as soon as they come on the screen, I'm like, oh yeah, they're about to die. Like, yeah, he's about to kill them. So
it's like The Sopranos.
So yeah.
Well, happy holidays, everyone. Let's talk about the movie we're doing today, Jade.
Think robbers. Think suburbia. Think holiday season. Think Christmas family vacations. Think this family's really rich. What do they do for money? Think short cat burglar, tall cat burglar who's an idiot. Think airlines. Think everything is booked because it's Christmas and we can't put you on a plane. Think determined mother. Think really bratty little 8-year-old boy who's also adorable. Think annoying family cousins and uncles and aunts and weird family dynamics. Think whose kid belongs to which parental in this movie because there's 100 million kids are running around. Okay. Think a young child star. And that brings us to, drumroll please, Home Alone! Yes.
One of the best Christmas movies of
a Christmas classic. A holiday cheermeister.
Holiday cheermeister.
Summary. When 8-year-old Kevin McCallister, played by Macaulay Culkin, acts out the night before his family Christmas vacation to Paris, his mother, Catherine O'Hara, makes him sleep in the attic. After the McCallisters mistakenly leave for the airport without Kevin, he awakens to an empty house and assumes his Christmas wish to have no family has come true. But his excitement sours when he realizes that two con men / burglars, Joe Pesci, I think that's how you say his name, and Daniel Stern plan to rob the McCallister residence, and that he alone must protect the family house.
Yes, Lord.
The film is a Christmas comedy film directed by Chris Columbus and written by and produced, don't read it, don't look, by the one, the only, can you guess?
No idea. Produced? No. Tell me.
Written and produced. Come on, take a guess. I'll give you a hint. The year is 1990.
John, what's his name? The dude who did 16 Candles?
Yes!
What's his name?
John Hughes!
John Hughes. Wow, I did not
The
know
one, the only, the great. The man who was behind 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Pretty in Pink. He, of course, no other man could have done it. He wrote and produced Home Alone.
That's crazy.
This man is genius.
He's a genius.
He's a genius. Every freaking thing that he writes is a box office banger.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a well done movie. Like what be going on? I want his brain cells because he wrote this, and then he also wrote The Breakfast Club, and then he wrote Pretty in Pink, and then he wrote 16 Candles, and then he wrote Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He did all of these phenomenal films.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like
crazy.
nothing he produces is a flop.
This guy.
He touches anything he touches turns into gold. He's freaking, what's the guy's name that touches stuff and it turns into gold? Oedipus? No.
No, I don't know.
Leonidas? No.
Sure. A Greek god? I don't know. I don't know which one.
Poseidon? Oh
No,
my
not
God.
Poseidon.
Presto. Everything he touches turns to gold person.
I don't know.
He's like King Midas. Took us a while to get there, but we got there. The film was released November 16th, 1990, and was distributed by 20th Century Fox. But for everybody who lived in Chicago, the movie was released on November 10th.
Oh, cool.
Budget.
I hope it wasn't too much. House, some planes. 20 million?
Oh my God, look at you. $18 million hairs.
Oh, yeah.
Box office.
Ooh, 80 million.
No.
That's too low.
Yeah.
100 million?
No.
200 million?
No.
I need to keep going up?
You need to keep going up.
Wow. 300 million?
No.
No. 400 million?
No.
500 million?
$476 million.
Wait, that is ridiculous.
The film became the highest grossing live action comedy until the release of The Hangover in 2011, which was like 20 years later.
It became the highest what?
The highest grossing live action comedy. Whatever that really means, I don't know. I guess it means the highest grossing comedy movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And what year did it come out?
1990.
1990. On Christmas? Wait, sorry.
No, it was released November 16th.
Oh. People went to go see it. They really liked it, huh?
Yeah. So, the film obviously made Macaulay Culkin a child star, and the movie was the second highest grossing film of 1990 behind the film. Can you guess it? No, but just for shits and giggles, try.
Of 1990?
It was the second highest grossing film of the year 1990 behind.
Oh, 1990. 1990.
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
Demi Moore's in it.
Oh, God. Which white woman is that?
The one who used to be married to Ashton Kutcher.
Oh. No. Not Scream. Demi Moore. Just Demi Moore. Black hair. What movie is she in?
I'll give you another hint. Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, Ghost.
Yes.
Demi Moore?
She's in there. She plays like the girlfriend.
She has black hair in it?
Yeah. She actually looks like a little boy in that movie. I never understood.
Oh, yeah,
Her hair's
short.
like short as hell.
Yes,
She literally looks like a 14-year-old child.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It actually grosses
Okay,
me
Ghost. Killing the game. How much they made? How much they made to
I know,
out
right?
this?
That movie,
Okay,
I was
I'm looking
like,
up.
Jesus.
Let's see. Wait, hold on. I have to see.
It was like 500 million. Let's move on.
Okay.
It was nominated, the film was nominated for Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy for Macaulay Culkin, and for the Academy Award for Best Original Score for John Williams, and Best Original Song for Somewhere in My Memory. Don't know that song whatsoever, but whatever. Home Alone has since been considered one of the best Christmas films of all time.
Definitely.
And in 2023, Home Alone was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant.
Okay. Aesthetically significant. To who?
I don't know.
To who?
American culture.
To which richer person is this?
Writer and producer John Hughes conceived Home Alone while preparing to go on vacation. He said, "I was going on vacation and making a list of everything I didn't want to forget. And I thought, well, I better not forget my kids. Then I thought, what if I left my 10-year-old son home alone? What would he do?" Hughes thought. Hughes wrote an 8-page paper, or 8 pages of notes, that developed into the screenplay. Imagining that children are naturally most scared of robbers, Hughes also worked that aspect into the plot of the film.
And when I was a child, was that my number one fear? Robbers.
I mean, just like, I guess so, like eerie, like creaks and cracks.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, who is that? You know, you can't
Yeah,
defend yourself as an
That's
8-year-old.
hilarious.
Home Alone was initially set to be financed and distributed by Warner Brothers, but the studio wanted the budget to remain small. When production for the film exceeded the initial budget, Warner Brothers demanded that the budget be cut by $1.2 million. The producers refused, so Warner Brothers cut production of the film the next day. John Hughes, of course, was like, "You're not going to get in the way of my grade A masterpiece." Moseyed on his way to 20th Century Fox and pitched the film to them. And then the next day, production resumed and 20th Century Picture Fox picked up the film.
That's so stupid. You dropped this film for $1 million.
Yeah.
Kitty chain.
I guess they just didn't think it was gonna. Well, I think so the budget was 18. I think initially he was like, I can do it. Like he was like, when he pitched it to Warner Brothers, he was like, "Oh, I can make this film with $10 million."
Yeah.
And then it kept on going up and up. And I guess maybe by the time it got to 15, 16 or something like that, they're like, "You need to cut it by $1 million." He was like, "No." And then they're like, "Well, we're cutting production." And then he was like, "Fine, I'll take my movie elsewhere."
I wonder if you have to start from scratch. I wonder how that goes legally.
Yeah, I wonder how that went. But apparently he was like breaking some law or something like that.
Oh, like a contract.
Yeah. But worked out in the
They
end.
have lawyers. They figure it out.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
It sure was. When looking for a director, John Hughes turned to Chris Columbus, who had left National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, another film written by John Hughes, before shooting started because of a personality clash with starring actor Chevy Chase, who Columbus said treated him like dirt. I feel like a lot of people don't get along with Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with this guy?
He's like he's just I don't even know a bad boy, but he's a dick, everyone.
Why is he the worst?
He was even terrible on the Community.
Right.
You gotta get fired from that. Wait, who did he clash with?
The director.
Oh.
The guy. And then so I don't know if the director got fired, he left, but yeah. And then John Hughes was like, "Hey, I know this didn't work out, but do you want to make Home Alone with me?" And then so John Hughes also suggested Macaulay Culkin for the role of Kevin because of his experience while shooting Uncle Buck, which is a 1982 film, also, of course, written, produced, and this one is directed by John Hughes.
Never heard of it.
You've seen it.
Buck.
It's this movie. Can you see? I know you're blind.
I'm pulling it up. I'm playing. Oh, don't think I've ever seen it though.
You've never seen it, but you see the picture. You know, it looks familiar to you.
I was actually just wondering, like, what other movie was he in?
That movie was on the other night, actually. And I was like, oh, look, it's Macaulay.
I feel like in this photo he has the same outfit that he has on Home Alone.
Probably. Where was I? Oh, because of his experience shooting Uncle Buck, he wanted Macaulay Culkin to be in it. But the director was like, it is my directorial responsibility to see other actors. And so the director met with over 200 other child actors.
I'm not mad at that.
Yes. One being John Maloney. Do you know who that is? John Maloney. I don't know. Like, people make him out to be way more famous than what he really is. He voices like Andrew on Big Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
He has like awards, and I'm like, why? It's like, I've literally never heard of him other than voicing Andrew on Big Mouth.
Maybe because he's a comedian. I didn't know. I forget that he's a comedian.
I mean,
two-time Emmy and WAG.
For what though?
I don't know. This is stand-up comedy. Could it be?
What could he have Emmys for? What does he do? Anywho, he was asked to audition because apparently he was with a sketch comedy group, so apparently he's been doing this since diapers. But his parents refused the opportunity for him, and then the director finally met with Culkin or Macaulay. What kind of name is Macaulay?
Macaulay.
Have you ever in your life met any human being with the name Macaulay? He is the only person on earth with that name.
It's got to be specific. I wonder where his parents are from because
what kind of name is that?
It's got to be a family name or something.
But whatever. The director was like, yeah, you're right. Okay, we can go with Macaulay Culkin. So, of course, they went with Macaulay Culkin. And after Robert De Niro and John Lovitz, is that who this name is? Who is this person? John Lovitz. Oh, yeah. So after Robert De Niro and John Lovitz turned down the role of cat burglar number 1, Harry, Joe Pescow accepted it.
Yay.
I can't imagine Robert De Niro playing that
Cannot imagine it at all.
But I can imagine the other guy.
What was the other guy?
John Lovitz. He's in, let's see. He was a cast member on Saturday Night Live. That says enough.
Oh, yeah. The guy who's in He's in Rat Race? Yeah, he's in Rat Race. The Three Amigos, Big. My Stepmother is an Alien. Coneheads. What's that devil movie?
Matilda. He's in Matilda.
Little Nicky.
Mickey.
Little Nicky.
He's in Little Nicky.
Yeah.
He is in Little Nicky. You said, what's that devil movie? And I was
That's what I said.
What?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Where am I?
Yeah, him.
Okay. The role of Uncle Frank was written for Kelsey Grammer, but was given to Gary Bayman when Grammer was unavailable. Do you know who Kelsey Grammer is? Frasier. Do you not know?
Oh, yes. Married to something the other Grammer.
Yeah. I could see him playing Uncle Frank for sure.
Yeah.
He looks just like the guy who plays Uncle Frank.
I think I've never seen him act.
I feel like that would have been a really small role for him. I feel like I've never seen him in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only just been the guy from Frasier.
Yeah.
Daniel Stern was cast as Marv, the other burglar. But before shooting started, he was told that production schedule had been extended from 6 weeks to 8 weeks. He dropped out after he would not be paid more for the extended schedule. And Daniel Roebuck was hired to replace him. But after 2 days of rehearsal, Columbus, the director, felt that the replacement was lacking chemistry with Joe Pescow or whatever, and brought back Daniel Stern.
That is crazy. Hollywood is crazy. Because you'd be like, I got the part. You're like, yeah, never mind.
That's so sad.
I would just wait until...
Right.
I would wait until I got in that movie theater and I saw myself...
Until we made to the red carpet.
Yes.
Until we made to the premiere.
I would tell people.
Right. Because you're like, yeah, I got this role. 2 days later, you're fired.
They could probably shoot half the movie and be like, no.
Right.
Bring back the other
guy. No, literally. And I was reading something one time when we do Back to the Future. They filmed like half of the movie of Back to the Future with this one guy
For
this
who?
one kid
That was playing.
that was playing the main guy who plays Marty.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it's not working. And they're like, we've got to find somebody else. It was like half the movie was done.
Oh,
Can you
my
imagine?
God. I would die.
It's crazy.
Ugh.
Crazy.
I would cry. I don't think I would ever cry so hard about being fired.
But I would,
Day in my
I would
life.
cry then.
Do I still get paid? How does the money work?
Wait, say it again.
How does that money work?
I don't know. Y'all gonna have to pay me for emotional distress.
Emotional damage.
So, yeah. Do you know who Daniel Roebuck is, the replacement? He's the dad. You remember that movie Quince?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Daniel
Roebuck or something like that. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's his claim to fame, I guess. I could see him, though, playing a burglar.
Yeah, sure, yeah. What movie you say he was in?
Quince? That movie where they have like 5 twins.
Quince. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Disney movie.
John Candy was available for only one day to film his scenes, which took 23 hours to shoot.
Huh.
He was paid only $414 since he did the film as a favor to Hughes. In return, he was the only actor Hughes allowed to go off script. According to the director, all of his dialogue was improv. That's the guy who she catches a ride with, the fat guy. Who she catches a ride with.
Yeah, I thought it was random that he was in the movie.
He's Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
So, you know,
He only got paid $400.
Yeah, because he did it as a favor.
Favors can't get paid more.
Oh, right. Like $2,000? I don't know.
I wonder, after the movie does great, you come back and you're like,
I should, yeah. I would like to increase my money here. Elizabeth Perkins was originally in the running to play Kevin's mother, but the role was eventually given to Catherine O'Hare. Cast Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McCallister, an 8-year-old who was left home alone when his parents go on a Christmas vacation. Joe Pesci as Harry, a thief who targets the McCallister home with Marv. Daniel Stern as Marv, a thief who targets the McCallister home with Harry. John Hurd as Peter McCallister, Kevin's father. Robert Blossom as Marley, Kevin's elderly neighbor. Old man Marley, yeah. Catherine O'Hare as Kate McCallister, Kevin's mother. Angela Gothlands as Lenny McCallister, Kevin's older sister. And then, where's the uncle? Gary Bayman as Uncle Frank McCallister, Peter's rude, cruel, cheap, and selfish older brother. John Candy as Gus Polinsky, a kind-hearted, pokey musician who helps Kate. And I think that's really all then. Maybe, what's the brother's name? Buzz? Oh, Devin Rattray as Buzz McCallister, Kevin's older brother, who often gets him into trouble.
let's dive in.
Ooh,
I'm about to dive in.
Yeah. So the film begins in the Chicago suburbs with the McCallister family, 15 people in total in this one house. And they're
it's a very big house.
very gorgeous house. And they're preparing for a Christmas vacation to Petty, which I soon realized is that one of their brothers lives in Paris. I just thought they
Oh my
randomly
goodness. I
chose
was
Paris.
hoping that you didn't catch that so I could reveal that information.
Well, I watched the movie as well. You thought
But I really... Okay.
Never
I thought you wouldn't have watched... Because there's times where I'm like, oh, did you know
Yeah.
that? And you'd be like, no, I didn't. So I thought this was
one of the
those
times.
instances.
You know what threw me off is like in the beginning where the cop is looking for everyone, and one of
The girls is like...
my dad
And
lives
he's
in
like, oh, like, are your parents here? And she's like, my parents live in Paris.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what?
Mm.
And then I have so many questions about that, but we'll continue because like, why are you here?
Hmm.
So, and then the first people we meet is the homeowners, Kate and Peter, and they're packing when their youngest son, Kevin, comes into the room to complain about how everyone is treating him like trash. And he's not being included with his...
He can't watch the TV show that they're all watching, but it's not even a bad TV show.
I'm
It's
sure
like
it isn't.
PG rated, and they're not letting me watch it with them. And Uncle Frank's being mean.
Uncle Frank's
and
the worst.
then the mom's like, if Uncle Frank says you can't watch it, then it must be really bad, Kevin.
No.
Says Catherine O'Hare.
So we quickly get the idea that Kevin is like the black sheep of the family.
I don't know why. He's so cute and adorable.
Yeah, and he's not even the youngest. There's that other one.
Yeah.
And he's frequently ridiculed by his cousins and siblings. And in the midst of all this chaos, because in the beginning of the movie, everyone's just running around, packing, trying to figure out stuff.
Because the next morning, they're going to Paris. They're off. They got to wrangle 15 human beings.
Disgusting.
So it's just chaos in the house.
I don't like it.
So many children running around. I'm like, who do these kids belong to?
And where's the brother live that he can't get prepared at his home? Why do we need to be prepared together here?
They must live somewhere else, like in a different state.
Like come to Chicago. I'd be like, meet me in Paris.
Right.
Do not bring your
Meet
family
me in Paris.
Do not bring your family up
We
here.
don't have the room for all of you.
Yes.
Because, okay, so what we found out is, because I feel like there's always a lot of conversation. Okay, what's his name?
Peter
McCallister do to send this entire family to Paris?
Do you know?
No.
Are you
but
asking
this is no, but this is how when you actually sit there and watch a movie like we do, you learn information. He's not the one sending them to Paris.
Oh, who is?
When Catherine gets the money to pay for the pizza, and then the burglar, as the policeman, asks her, like, oh, y'all have a family reunion or something? She responds, no. My husband's brother got transferred to Paris. To do what? Who fucking knows? Got transferred to Paris. But his kids still live here. But I guess he's missing all of us and wants all of us to be together on Christmas. So he paid for us to all be together. So we're all going to Paris. So Kevin's dad, Peter, isn't the one who pays for them to go to Paris. It's the brother who lives in Paris.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, why are your kids here?
I feel like every year everyone's like, what does he do for them to go to Paris? But he's not the one who's making all the money. It's the brother. Now, what do they do for that home that they live in? That we'll never know. We'll never be able to figure out.
Some bit finance.
He does something. He still does pretty good because they live in that 7 square foot mansion in Chicago.
Finance, probably. I wonder, or I guess, I guess you would leave your children in America because Paris, they have to speak French. I don't know.
Right. Well, the girl who was like, my parents live in Paris, she looked grown as hell. So they probably like, we're not going to uproot you in the junior year of high school to go to Paris. You just going to finish school here.
That's crazy. They're just like, we're going to go to Paris, we're going to live there, and we're going to leave our children behind.
Yeah, what job could possibly transport you to Paris?
You would say no.
Yeah.
I can't
it's like, oh yeah, he got transferred to Paris. To do what?
You know, back then, women in their jobs.
That's crazy.
That was number one. Forget their family. Job, number one. Then family. And then wife further down somewhere. But anywho, so as it's chaotic, people are running around, and there's a policeman downstairs at the door. And he's trying to get
the attention of anybody in the house. Every 5 seconds, he's like, hey, you. Hey, little one. Hey, big guy. Hey, little girl. Hey, you. Hey, fatso. Can you go get your parents? Do your parents live here? Who lives here? No one. Every time he talks to a kid, he's like, helpful. Are your parents here? And they're like, yeah, but they don't own this house. And he's like, well, what about you? Do your parents own this house? And they're like, no. So he's like, can I please find the owner of this home?
I think he says this is like one big orphanage or something.
Yeah. He's like, what is this? A halfway house? Like, what's going on here? Right. There's kids everywhere.
And he's basically his goal here is to warn the homeowners. There's been burglaries lately. Burglars?
He's like, it's the holiday season. His intention here as a police officer is to inform the families like, hey, it's the holiday season. We get a lot of burglaries around this time. Just trying to make sure that y'all are taking the necessary precautions.
And he kind of like gets some information about the trip. We're going to Paris. So, we got some timers. No one's going to be home.
So while he's still standing in the hallway trying to get some information, the family, they order pizza. The pizza boy delivers 10 boxes of pizza.
Only costing like $120.
I honestly feel like, okay, so 10 pizzas, $12 each. $12 for a pizza, I feel like that's today's age.
Is it? Well, I feel like when I order...
For like a medium-sized pizza? Do they even sell medium pizzas? Not for a large. A large is like $20.
Yeah. But why would they order mediums? Maybe.
I guess so.
I feel like when I order one pizza from Domino's, it's like $30. But maybe that's just Domino's. Maybe you have to do like a local person.
When you include the Texas delivery fees.
Oh, $120. I was like, you guys are living large out there. back in the 90s.
Right. You could get a lot with $112. So, the The pizza delivery boy comes in. He stands in the foyer with the police officer.
Also confused who owns this
They're
house.
all confused. And the police officer's trying to find the owner. The pizza boy's also trying to find the owner so he can get his tip, pay for these pizzas, and get on his way.
The freaking uncle, he's the first one to grab the pizzas. He's like, I ain't got no money, but thank you for the pizza.
He's like, yeah, Uncle Frank grabs the pizzas. He's like, this is my brother's house. Ask him. I'm just grabbing the pizzas. Then eventually
Terrible.
Kevin's father, Peter, I keep on wanting to call the father Kevin.
No.
I don't know why.
Crazy.
Peter, the father, comes down. He's like, hello. He greets both of them. The police officer is like, I just want to speak with you for a moment, Mr. McCallister. You do own this house, correct? He's like, yes. Finally, thank you. There's a lot of burglars going around during the holiday season. Just want to make sure you're taking the necessary precautions. And then Peter's like, yeah, sure. We have alarms. We lock our doors, as much as anybody can do these days, right? And then he's like, yeah, sure. And then Buck or Buckwheat, whatever his name is, the oldest son comes down.
Buzz. Is it Buzz?
Yeah, Buzz. Comes down. He's like, come on, Dad, let's go eat. And then so he walks off, not paying for the pizzas.
And then the mom comes.
So we enter the kitchen now. Kevin's downstairs after having a fiasco of not knowing how to pack his suitcase.
Yeah. Which is not crazy.
Yeah, he's 8. So
no one wants
apparently
to
he was
help
supposed to pack his suitcase on his own, but he's 8 years old. He doesn't know how to pack a suitcase, and he's very verbal about it. He's like, "Hey, I don't know how to pack a suitcase."
Everyone
so of course he's asking all of his siblings, "Hey, can you help me pack my suitcase?" And they're literally like, "F no,
you're a baby. You're a big
they're
fat
like,
baby."
Oh my god, everyone just has to baby you. You're such a useless little twat. She's right, Kev. Hey, adults,
Right.
I'm 8.
I'm surprised his sister's not like this. I understand the boys, but aren't sisters supposed to be like naturally caring? Why are y'all such assholes?
Why are you so mean to him?
Right.
And
he's adorable.
He has too many siblings because Buzz is his brother. Then the redheaded boy, that's his brother too. Then that girl with the black hair, that's his sister. And then that other girl with the red hair, that's his sister. Why they got them children?
5 family.
That's 5 kids, and they all like the same age.
They are like the older ones.
Yeah. I'm like, who oldest? Because y'all, this don't make no sense. They should have had 3 kids. Not 5. That's too many.
Under his salary, he was like, "Let's just pop these out." Or their salary. I think she's also a businesswoman.
She got to be with them pants.
Yeah. A 2 household income. That's probably helping. That's probably helping.
Where were we? So yeah,
Pizza.
He's like, after the whole he doesn't know how to pack his suitcase fiasco, he's pissed. Like, he's like, okay, no one wants to help me pack my suitcase. Now, okay, let me go downstairs and indulge these people for dinner and eat pizza with them. So he go downstairs. There's 10 pizzas everywhere. He's just looking for a plain cheese. That's all sweet little Kevin McCallister.
That's all I need.
And he's looking at the shoulders of everybody. He's looking at the table and he's like, did anybody order me a cheese pizza? And then Buzz, being the cunt that he is, and he was like, yeah, but if you want it, someone's going to have to barf it up because it's all gone.
Who eats cheese pizza?
You.
I do. But, like, I feel like they all ate it on purpose because clearly he's the only one who wants it. Y'all didn't have to eat the cheese. I just don't understand how the entire, like, large cheese pizza was gone in, like, 30 seconds. Those are assholes.
So, yeah.
They didn't even be like, Kevin don't eat nothing but cheese.
Right. So, he's pissed. And Buzz is not making the situation any lighter. He's like, yeah, if you want something, you're going to have to barf it up. And he says something else to that effect. And then his mom tries to calm Kevin down. And then Kevin's like, no, he's making fun of me. And he ate all my cheese pizza. And y'all know I don't like pizza with all those extra pepperonis and olives and all that crap. Yeah. And then Buzz does something to piss him off further.
To gag.
He starts to barf up the pizza that he ate. And Kevin gets pissed and he pushes him and he knocks him over, knocking over like a carton of milk. Why is there milk out? I don't know.
Yeah.
He knocks over a carton of milk, which gets all over the passports, and then which causes a big uproar, which causes Uncle Frank to spill his Pepsi, which causes one of the tiny little cousins, who's also played by Macaulay Culkin's little brother.
Yeah. The bedwetter.
To like get trapped in between a chair. And it's just chaos has ensued. And everyone is turning and looking at Kevin for the blame.
Yes. And I think specifically Kevin's plane ticket is thrown away. Which I think
I saw something go in the garbage.
Yeah.
But it's his plane ticket?
I think it's his plane ticket.
Well,
which helps Like, why we have one extra plane ticket, they didn't. Because they threw it away.
Oh.
I think that helps them lose him.
Oh, okay.
Because accidentally got thrown away.
Because, yeah, I was like, they show something go in the garbage, but I thought it was the passports.
I think it's supposed to be his plane ticket.
Which
they didn't really
do
it. Yeah, they didn't really do a good job, but...
Okay. So, after the milk has been spilled, the Pepsi's all over the place, Uncle Frank is being a twat. Everyone's looking at Kevin, and they're like, God, Kevin, you're such a disease.
Not nice.
Yeah, Kevin, you're the worst. We can't stand you, Kevin. Kevin, you suck. And then, what's the mom's name?
Kate.
Kate is like, Kevin, look at what you've done. And then Kevin's like, are you kidding me? This isn't my fault. Buzz started it. And then she's like, Kevin, go upstairs. And he's like, no, I don't want to. And she's like, go upstairs. And then so she yanks him by his arm and she makes her way to the foyer where the pizza delivery man and the police officer are still standing. Because one, the pizza hasn't been paid for after half of it has already been consumed.
It's gone.
And the police officer still hasn't gotten the information that he wants.
The recon.
So, the mom, in between trying to discipline Kevin, she stops to pay for the pizza. The guy says, thank you, thanks for the tip, and he makes his way out. And then the police officer asks, hey, do you guys have like a family reunion going on? And then this is where she tells him, and she says it so freaking quick. I understand why nobody knows that it's really the uncle who lives in Paris that paid for this, because she spits it out so quick. It's so quick. She's like, Paris, Christmas. She says it so fast.
She's got a lot going on.
But basically she tells the officer that my husband's brother got transported to Paris for his job, but his kids still live down here. But he missed the family and wants us all to be together for Christmas, so he booked us all plane tickets and a flight to Paris so we can all be together for the holidays. And then, cha-ching, cha-ching, the police officer has got the information that he wants. So he's like, oh, so you guys won't be here for Christmas. And she's like, no.
No, sir.
And he's like, okay, well, I just wanted to stop by, introduce myself, tell you that we'll be keeping an eye on the neighborhood. You have a happy holiday, ma'am. And he gets out of there.
Gone.
Back to Kevin. What's her name?
Kate
brings Kevin all the way upstairs to the attic. And she's like, this is where you're sleeping. Ouch.
Because he has a room.
He has a room, but I guess it's being occupied by the 111 million people that are inside the house. And then she goes up to the attic with him, and she's like, this is where you're sleeping. And he's like, I don't want to sleep here, and I don't want to sleep with
the other
the youngest cousin who wets to the bed.
His actual real brother, too.
Which is his actual little brother in real life. And she's like, okay, fine, we'll put the little boy somewhere else, but you still have to sleep up here. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, too late. And then
nice
he's like, you know what? I hate being part of this family. I hate you guys, and I wish I had never been born, and I wish you'd all disappear. And then Catherine, what's her name?
Kate.
Catherine. Well, her real name is Catherine O'Hare. So that's
okay.
Catherine Kate. Okay, so he's like, I hate all of you. I wish I'd never been part of this family. I wish you all disappear. And Kate is like, that's a really awful thing to say. And then she's like, if you say it again, maybe it'll actually come true. Pause. Does she even like him?
Oh, right. What is their relationship?
I don't, the one thing that I feel like this movie actually lacks is like a loving relationship between the two of these two. Because I really don't see it.
They have a love-hate relationship.
Like, she literally, like, he's an 8-year-old.
Right.
And she like going toe-to-toe with him. Maybe. He a child. You talk about something, say it again, and hopefully it'll come true. Not, Kevin, that's so mean. Don't say anything like that. Kevin, we love you. Say it again. I hope maybe it'll come true. What?
Maybe she's stressed and she's like, I thought
that was really wild for her to say to her 8-year-old son. Yeah. I was like, that's kind of nasty. And then he says it again. And then she's like,
bye.
All right, go to bed now.
I think it was I guess it wasn't real punishment, but I feel like it was a lot for some drinks spilled. Like, calm down, everyone.
Right.
Just spill some drinks.
And he's like, I don't understand why everybody in this family treats me like this. Yeah. And then she's literally like, you bring it on yourself. Like, that's her, like...
He really doesn't. And something's wrong with Buzz. Is no one seeing this? I feel like he only really has beef with Buzz.
Buzz moves like a 40-year-old man. Okay. He has the mannerisms of a 40-year-old
Yeah, he grown.
He's weird.
Yeah, I don't like him.
And he has a gun in his room.
An actual gun? I must
I
have
don't
missed
know.
that.
Was it a BB gun?
Yeah, it was a BB gun.
Whatever. It looked like a real gun.
It was a BB gun.
I
Because he
didn't like
uses it later. Yeah, it was a BB gun.
But what we failed to mention, I guess we'll mention this later. But anywho, so she's like, say it again, maybe it'll come true. And he says it again, and then he goes off to bed.
Sleep time.
What we failed to mention, though, in the midst of Kevin trying to figure out how to pack his suitcase, he goes to Buzz and he's like, hey, can I sleep with you? Because they're going to make me sleep with little cousin Johnny, whatever his name is. And he wets the bed. I don't want to sleep with him.
Yeah.
And Buzz is like, I wouldn't let you sleep with me if you were growing on my ass. I was like, Jesus. But then they hear like a little ruckus outside, right? And then Buzz is like, hey, check it. It's old man Harley. The dialogue in this film is very interesting.
It's old.
It's old man Harley. So Buzz, Kevin, and one
Marley.
of their cousins make it to the window, and they see old man Harley outside the window.
Marley, I think it is.
Marley? Marley. Okay, old man Marley outside the window. And he's shoveling the snow. And the cousin's like, who is that? And then Buzz is like, have you ever heard of like the shovel slasher or something? And the cousin is like, no. And Buzz is like, well, that's him. Back in 1958, he murdered his entire family and half his block with a shovel. And now he's been hiding out here ever since. And then the cousin is like, no way. And he's like, yeah. And then then Kevin's like, so why is he shoveling the snow off the ground if he's such like a bad person? And he's like, I think that's a pretty nice thing. And then Buzz is like, no. You see that garbage can that's with him? He puts his bodies in there and he uses salt to decompose the bodies. And he's a murderer.
Basically. He's a creepy old man. He's a murderer.
The creepy old man, that's all we need to know. The creepy old man that lives across the street is believed to be a murderer. A serial killer.
He's just a white man.
He's just an old man with a shovel.
He's to himself.
Yeah. Just an old white man with a shovel.
Poor thing. So, back to present day. During the night, Kevin's off to bed. Everyone's going to sleep. But during the night, there's like heavy winds. And it causes
There's like heavy winds. Oh yeah, he's in the bed and he's like, he makes a wish.
Yeah,
I never noticed this. I was like, oh, he like actually made a wish.
He makes a wish that I wish they were all gone.
And then
Disappear.
Then in the night, heavy winds, a storm, gusts is a brewing. The wind is so powerful, so strong that it knocks out the electricity on like the whole block.
Yeah, the power's out, but
power's out.
And it resets all the clocks, which causes the family to oversleep. Everybody, all 15 of them. No one has
This is the 90s. We don't have like, phones.
But no one has an internal clock.
And a what?
Eternal clock.
Internal?
What's
like, an internal clock?
Just like you're overthinking it. But some people bodies naturally wake up at 7 a.m. An internal clock, like I'm overslept. People were like, oh, no matter
those
what.
Those don't exist in movies.
Yeah, I guess so. For the whole 15 of them, 4 adults.
Their internal clock was probably for them to wake up at 7 a.m., but they really needed to be up at like 4.
Well, the bus was coming at 8. At least they woke up at 8.
I guess
it's way off.
Well, the bus looks like they had been waiting there for a while.
Yeah, it was scheduled to be there at 8. Yeah, to pick them up at 8. And they were just off. They didn't get up to 8.
Well, anywho, the entire house is overslept. Kevin's father, Peter, and Kate wake up in disarray. We overslept! The whole house is in shambles. Everybody's running. Everyone's trying to get their bags. Everybody's trying to wash their ass, brush their teeth. Everyone is in a rush and in a hurry.
Don't like it.
So then,
cancel the trip.
As soon as they're starting to get their, mojo going, they got to get the passports. Kate tells one of the girls to take a head count of all the kids. Then, meanwhile, outside, the vans are waiting. And there's this little neighborhood boy who lives across the street being nosy as hell and being disgusted and aggravating as hell. He's like, hey, do these cars get good mileage? Hey, did you know the McCallisters are going to Paris? My family's going to Orlando. Well, we're not going to Orlando first. We have to go pick up my grandmother in Sheboygan, and then we're going to Orlando for 5 days. Will you think they'll bring me back something from Paris? How rich are you guys? They're pretty rich. We're pretty poor, actually. It's just like he's going on and on and on. And then the driver is like, G kid, beat it.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
It's 9 a.m.
But he doesn't go anywhere. He's still hanging around.
Yeah.
He's still hanging around.
Nosy.
Meanwhile, one of the electrical workers tells
Kate,
look, we were able to get your lights back on, but your phone lines are out
Yeah.
still.
And
We
then
couldn't fix that.
Yeah, we
Crucial
can't.
to the story.
Everyone's out of town. Everyone's, off for the holidays. It's going to take some time.
Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, sure, I don't care. We're all leaving for Paris. Doesn't matter to me.
Perfect.
So then, they think they're finally getting everything in order. Uncle Frank is not being optimistic. He's like, there's no way we're going to make this fight. It leaves in 45 minutes.
He's factual. There's no way you're going to make this fight. It leaves in 45 minutes.
Peter. Peter's like, we can do it.
He's like, have some faith. Literally, no. They wouldn't have made it.
Minutes, yeah,
I didn't.
Minutes. It takes you 45 minutes to get to the airport. Like, what the hell?
It's Christmas time.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. You got to check in your bags. You got to go through security. Oh my God. No.
I think the first thing I would have done was call the airline.
Right.
Because so your next flight. Because
I'm like, just put us on the next one. God. So, anywho, they all get in the van. One of the girls is taking a head count of all the kids. But Kevin, no one woke up Kevin. Because why? They forced him to the attic.
They just forgot about him.
Yeah, y'all left him in the attic. He's nowhere to be found. He's not in the house. He's in the roof.
He didn't hear any of the
So no one knows what's going on.
He was sleeping hard.
Yeah. So they're taking a head count, all the kids. The little neighborhood boy who was asking all these questions and being really rude and aggravating is mistaken for Kevin. Because he's turned around. He's like in the van where everybody else is lined up outside of the van. She counts him by mistake as Kevin's head. So they think they got all 11 kids. Everyone piles into the van. Kate turns to Sarah and she's like, did you get a head count? And she's like, yeah, 11 kids, 4 adults, and a partridge in a pear tree. And then Catherine's like, don't be a little smart ass. Okay. So they make way to the airport.
At the airport. They're flying through. Everyone get through. There's 15 of us. We have to make it to our flight. And luckily, they make it just in time. As a flight takeoff, they ask the stewardess. She says no. Come on in. You made it just in time. There's only middle seats left. Grab your seats. The parents go to first class, the most roomy seats I've ever seen in a long time in an airplane. And everyone is settled. Happily on the plane. They're excited that they made it. Cut to Kevin. He wakes up, comes down from the attic. He looks around and he sees a completely empty house. He goes downstairs to the kitchen, expecting breakfast, sees nothing. He tours around the house, goes into Buzz's room, I don't know, looking for everyone. He sees no one. Interesting. Okay. He checks outside to see their cars. Their cars are still there because he doesn't realize they got like a airport bus. So he's looking around. He's like, oh my God, my wish came true. My family disappeared. He doesn't realize that they left him, which is even sadder to come to terms with. So Kevin is overjoyed, realizing or thinking that his wish came true.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. He's not worried at all. No concerns. So with his newfound freedom, we see him eating popcorn. He's jumping on beds. He goes into Buzz's room and goes through his stuff and finds his BB gun and starts playing with it and shooting stuff. So he's having a great time.
He's living his best life.
Yes. While back in the air, family's chilling. The mom's like, did I forget something?
She's just getting this weird feeling that she's forgotten something. And then Kevin's father, Peter.
He's like these crazy names. Peter, Kate.
I don't know why it's so hard for me to remember that his name is Peter. Anywho, Peter is like, what could we have forgotten? We remembered to do everything. And then she's like, did you turn the coffee off? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, did we lock up? And Peter's like, yeah. And then she's like, did we close the garage? And he's like, no, that's it. We forgot to close the garage.
Just stupid, but they did forget.
And she's like, no, that's not it. And then he's like, well, what else could it be? What possibly could we have forgotten? She sits back in her chair for a brief moment and she thinks. And then she realizes, Kevin! They forgot.
The son.
Their baby boy.
Their son.
The cutest little baby ever. He's so freaking adorable.
He is adorable.
I just want to take his cheeks and just squeeze him.
Adorable. And then so back at the house, Kevin is still enjoying himself. He's sledding down his steps into like outside in the snow while his mom is on the plane freaking out, having a panic attack. The flight attendants are unable to call the house because the phone lines are still down.
They're still in the freaking air.
Well,
They ultimately couldn't do anything until they land.
Yeah. And so back in Chicago, we finally get introduced to Harry and Marv in their true form.
Yes.
Because
Because Harry was the police officer that was in the house.
yes,
But he's not really a police officer. He's a burglar.
that's a really
He's
good,
a criminal.
that was a really good cop uniform that he had.
It was.
Where did he get that from? Because
That's
it was
actually a really good idea. too.
legit.
Okay, let me just walk around this neighborhood and pose as a police officer.
But also, it must have been different times, but I would never let a police officer in my house like that. Did he just walk
I think
in
he just opens
and
the
just
door.
stand there? Like, sir, get the fuck out my
But
house.
white people be leaving their door unlocked.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like police officers aren't. I mean, I know he was like warning them, but I feel like legally they're not even supposed to like just enter someone's home like that
they shouldn't. You're right.
so easily. Because what the hell? That was their first red flag.
So we're introduced to these idiots, and
They have a plan of breaking into all the vacant houses in Kevin's neighborhood.
yeah, because apparently Harry was working overtime, and he was doing this little cop get up at pretty much every house, and he knows which houses are gone, which is basically all of them.
Yeah.
What time their lights turn on, and then he tells Marv, he points to the McCallister household, and he says, but this one, Marv, that's the big tuna.
That's the big tuna.
And Marv was like, oh yeah, that house, it looked real nice. I bet it got some nice stuff in there. And then Harry's like, we're looking at, VCRs, stereos, toys, fine jewelry, money, you name it.
We got it.
This house is our golden ticket. It's the jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marvin's like, and they're not home? And he's like, nope, they're not home. They're gone to Paris for Christmas. It's our lucky day.
Yeah.
It's our lucky day.
So inside, Kevin is chilling. He's watching the Grinch, the cartoon version. When he notices two men trying
The Jim Carrey version hasn't been released yet.
Yes. And he noticed two men like at the back door, and he realizes that they're trying to break in. Is it nighttime?
It is.
It's nighttime. So Kevin wakes up and he turns on all the lights in the house to make it seem like there's people home. And when this scares off Harry and Marv, and they're like, I thought you said no one was home. He's like, well, I didn't think they were home. So they run off because there's lights on. And then Kevin hides under the bed.
He's petrified.
He's petrified, terrified.
Poor little baby. He thought, he was just having a grand old time until, his, home aloneness got ruined by these burglars.
Yes.
And now he's scared for his life.
Very smart of him to turn all the lights on. Good job, Kevin.
He's such a smart, cute little, precious little boy.
God.
He's so adorable.
I can only imagine, like, if you break into a house and you see a kid, what would they do? Lock him in a closet? He would die.
I know. I just could only imagine him being an 8-year-old and him, how scared he must have been.
Yeah.
To see, because literally one of them, Marv or whatever, he puts his, like, freaking foot through the doggy door. Like, seeing that, I would have shat myself.
Get rid of a doggy
8-year-old,
door.
I'd have been so freaking scared.
God, doggy doors.
So, yeah.
So, Kevin decides.
Kevin spooked.
Yes, Kevin spooked. But the next morning, I guess he woke up from being under bed, and he decides that he can't be a wimp who hides under bed since he's a man of the house now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not scared. I can't be scared. I'm the man of the house.
Can't do this. So he goes outside and he yells, I'm not afraid.
I'm not scared anymore. You hear me? You hear me? Come get me. I'm not scared anymore. He's yelling to nothingness.
No one.
But as he's walking down, his front yard screaming this, he stops and he looks up. And right in front of him is, lo and behold, Mr. Old Man Marley. And now, what is he now? Scared.
Yes, terrified.
Once again.
Like,
and he goes screaming into the house.
Yes. I tried, Lord. That's not for me. So, back in a petty, Kate and the family have finally made it, and they begin to make calls. She tells one of the family members, here's my phone book. Call anyone who lives in my neighborhood to see if they can go check on Kevin.
She tells another one, like, see if you can get us a flight home.
Yes.
I'd have been like, hold on. Hold on, just because you forgot your child, don't mean I'm going home to Chicago.
They ain't pay for it. I'm like, we're going.
No. I'd be like, this has nothing to do with me, ma'am. She said, see if you could get us flights back home. Why we all gotta go home because you forgot your child?
Maybe she just met herself.
No, she said, see if you can book us flights back home.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
maybe us as like just her family. Maybe
because that's a lot to figure out. And then Kate comes up with a decent idea to call the police department to check in on Kevin, but they ain't no help.
Yeah, she calls up the police department. After being on hold for quite a while. Basically, all she wants them is to see if they can bring over a unit to check on her son.
A wellness check, please, and thank you.
And they're like, okay, fine, we'll do it. And so, of course, they send over a cop car to check. But Kevin is petrified because, one, he had burglars almost break into his home. Then when he realized he was no longer scared of the burglars, he goes outside and he is met by old man Marley. So then he's petrified again. So now he's in the bed under the covers. He's scared. And so when the police come to check on him and they're knocking on the door, all he hears is banging. The police is never like, hi, it's the police, which is stupid.
And they only bang twice.
They just knock on the door. It's never, hello, Kevin, are you there? It's the police. Your parents sent us to check on you. They just bang on the door.
Thereby.
And, of course, he's scared because he's like, I've had 2 scary encounters already. I'm not about to open the door for a third one. So he doesn't answer, and the police leave.
They didn't even try.
It's nice to know that the police are useless everywhere.
Yes. Thank you, police officers.
Even in white suburbia.
Yeah. Do you realize there's a white child in there, police officer? So back at the airport, Kate realizes that there are no flights home. Everything is booked and busy. And the flight attendant tells...
Christmas Eve,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's Christmas Eve. And the flight attendant tells her the best we can do is you can stay at the airport, and if you can do like standby and anything comes available, you can get on that flight. And she's like, okay, fine. I'll stay at the airport. So Kate decides to stay at the airport, and the family, Peter and the rest of the family, are going to go to their brother's house and try to figure something out and, hope find Kevin that way in Paris. So they leave Kate. I don't care where you're going. Peter should have never left Kate.
He should not have left.
They have 2 adults that can be with these kids.
Right.
There's 2 more adults at the apartment.
Right.
You left your wife? I don't like him.
Yeah.
I really don't like him.
I didn't, yeah.
And he seems so, like, I'm pretty sure the flight...
He's really like, no, there's really nothing we can do. He's like, look, I'm tired, you're tired.
Yeah.
The kids are tired.
And the flight...
Let's just go to my brother's house.
And chill.
Call the police from there.
And he, like, I think the flight attendant's like, the soonest flight we can get you on is in 2 days. He's like, okay, we're just going to have to do that.
Right. And then she's like,
no. Right. He's just not concerned.
He's not.
He could die. He could fall down the stairs and break his neck.
The real story should have been, he should have really died when he took that sled down them stairs out that door.
And broke his neck
and broke his neck and died. That should have been the story.
Uh-huh.
That's the film right there, if you ask me. And then it just takes
That's the holiday classic we all want. That's a good film movie that we want.
That's reality right there. That's the real story.
Right.
He breaks his neck, and then they come home to Kevin's cold body laying out in the snow with his neck crack open.
That's so messed up.
So that's
cinema.
That's a story.
Jesus. But yes. So Kate's gonna stay at the airport. Everyone else is gonna have a grand old time in Paris. So back at home, Kevin is keeping up with his hygiene. He's showering. He's having a great time. He's putting on... Is he shaving? Did he shave?
Mm-hmm.
And he puts on some aftershave. And this is when we get the iconic...
Where he slaps his hand and it burns his face and he screams in terror. Yeah. I don't know. Did I see this on Twitter? I saw this on Twitter or something. And you know how so he puts the aftershave on his hands and then he slaps his face and he keeps his hands on his face and he screams. Well, apparently he did it wrong. He was supposed to put the aftershave on his hands, pat his face like this, like 1, 2, take his hands off, and then scream. But he did it wrong. And they were like, oh my goodness, he messed it up. It's so cute. Let's leave it like that. And then that's how it became so iconic. I don't know.
Yeah. That is funny because he leaves his... That doesn't make sense. It's burns.
Yeah. And they were just like, it was just such a childlike mistake. It was like, we had to have kept it.
We have to keep this. This is iconic.
So adorable.
But yeah, good point. I love when little stuff goes wrong, and like, actually, this is better.
Right.
And so he does that scene, and then he goes into Buzz's room to find cash, and he destroys his room because he's trying to climb on his shelves, and he destroys the room. He lets out Buzz's pet tarantula.
Oh shit!
Tarantula?
No,
Tarantula.
I said it, and then you said it wrong, and now I no longer have
I'm
it.
saying it wrong. Tarantula.
Tarantula.
Okay, you got it wrong too.
Well, I wasn't looking at
Tarantula. What is it?
We were saying try. It's tarantula. Tarantula.
It's not a spider that I ate.
His big ass spider.
So Buzz's room is destroyed. Kevin does have the money he needs because he needs to go buy a new toothbrush.
Oh, that's why we were taking your money?
Because I think, in one of the scenes when they were packing, his older brother grabs a toothbrush, and I wonder if he accidentally grabs Kevin's toothbrush. I don't know. I just remember seeing that. I remember I don't know why I cared. He was like, a toothbrush? And Kevin's missing his toothbrush. I wonder if his brother took it by accident. Gross. So Kevin needed the money to go into town to buy a new toothbrush because hygiene is very important. He's a big boy now. He can't slip up on these things.
Right.
So inside the store, Kevin he finds his toothbrush. He goes to the checkout lady. Is this toothbrush,
approved by the American Dental Association?
Sir, I do not know.
And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, can you find out, please? And she's like, okay.
She calls him.
So she calls over another sales associate, asks him.
He's like, oh, girl, I don't know.
And so, meanwhile, while the two workers are trying to figure out if this freaking toothbrush is approved by the American Dental Association, in walks
Old Man Marley
into the store. And Kevin is instantly petrified.
Terrified.
And so he slowly starts to walk away from Old Man Marley with the toothbrush in hand. And the lady who's working the counter is like, hold on, son, you got to pay for that. And he's still walking, slowly inching away from Old Man Marley. And then she's like, hold on, son, you've got to pay for that toothbrush. And he's still walking, not realizing that he's stealing the toothbrush, but he's just walking away in fear from Old Man Marley. And then one last time, she's like, son, the toothbrush. And he makes a run for it. The lady tells Billy, another sales associate, hey, Billy, stop that boy. He's stealing the toothbrush.
Oh, no.
Billy goes after him. Then Billy gets the police to chase after Kevin, and Billy's like, hey, shoplifter! So the police goes after Kevin, and Kevin's still making a run for it. He ends up running onto an ice skating rink with no ice skates on. He's slipping and sliding all through the ice, and the police officer loses him. And then Kevin makes his way home.
Ma'am, let the boy steal a toothbrush.
It's a toothbrush.
It's a lot for a toothbrush.
She was doing a lot.
Shoplifter.
Shoplifter.
Could you imagine if it was a black boy dead?
Dead in the street. Right.
A shot, like a lady.
They would have shot him.
They would have shot him. It's a lot of energy for a toothbrush, lady.
What is the toothbrush? 50 cents? It's 1990.
Yeah. So Kevin's on his way home. He is distraught because he realizes now he's a thief. He didn't mean to be. Unbeknownst to him,
He didn't choose this life.
right? Marv and Harry are at one of the houses in the neighborhood and they're robbing it. They're finishing up. They're trying to finish up, and then there's a call. The house receives a call, and it's from Peter, and he leaves a voicemail saying that,
Hey, John, it's me, Peter McCallister, calling again. I'm in Paris.
Petty.
The area code is 687. The city code is 333. The number is 497-04139. Give me a call back. And then so Harry's like ruffling through some stuff, but Marv hears the voicemail and he calls Harry and he's like, hey, Harry, that house that we wanted last night, the McCallisters, that's them, right? And then Harry's like, yeah. And then he's like, well, this voicemail says that they are in Paris. And then Harry's like, I knew they weren't home. So now they make the realization that the McCallisters are in fact not home.
Perfect. Excited. But before they leave this house, Marv does his thing, which he always does. His, what do you call it? He leaves his mark. His calling card.
His calling card.
Which is to leave the sinks on and like plug them up so they overflow. And he likes to overflow people's houses.
He floods people's homes after you've taken all of their valuable belongings. You've destroyed like their homes. You've ransacked
Terrible.
their living rooms, their bedrooms, everything. Now you choose to flood their house.
Like, okay,
on top
fine,
of that
fine, rob me, but you didn't have to destroy my house.
now make my life even worse.
Could
Like,
you imagine coming home at holidays? Like, not only is our stuff gone, can we sleep in here? There's water everywhere.
right?
You got to do work.
Do we have flood insurance for this? Like,
Oh, that's a good point.
probably not.
Hopefully it's just home insurance, because I don't. Hopefully flood insurance means outside.
I guess.
But Marv tells Harry, we're the wet bandits. This is what we do.
He's like, we're the wet bandits. And then Harry's like, no, we're not.
He's like, stop doing that.
He's like, you're sick.
Yeah.
He's like, you're a sick individual.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm not sick. And he's like, every great leaves their mark. This is our calling card.
Yeah.
And then Harry's like, I told you to stop doing that.
It's
Like,
weird.
that's really weird. And then so they're having an argument about it as they're pulling out of this driveway.
And they're
And-
still in broad daylight. They don't
Yeah,
care.
this is broad daylight, but who cares because no one in the block is
Yeah,
home.
I guess not.
So as they're pulling out the driveway, Kevin is still walking home from the store after stealing that toothbrush.
Distraught.
And he is almost hit by the vehicle that Marv and Harry are driving.
I don't know why, but that's my favorite scene.
His scream is like, ah!
And then
It's so funny.
he hits the car. He's like, all right, buddy. Thanks for not hitting me.
And then so they almost hit poor little Kevin.
Yeah.
And Harry is like, hey, kid, you really need to watch the ways of traffic while you're walking here. And then Kevin's like, okay, yeah, so I'm sorry.
It's like, sorry,
And
sir.
then Marv says something to the effect of, like, yeah, Santa doesn't deliver to the funeral home. And then
What's up?
Kevin's like, okay, yeah, sure. And then Marv and Harry tell him Merry Christmas. But there's a weird twinkle in Harry's eyes that Kevin sees, and he's instantly, like, thrown off by it.
Yeah.
Like he's seen him before.
I've seen that
or,
gold tooth before.
Like he recognizes the gold tooth in his mouth, and he like gives him like this really like strange stare, and then he kind of just slowly walks away
All right,
in
guys.
fear. And then Marvin's like, he turns to him and he's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I don't like the way that kid just looked at me." And then Marvin's like, well, have you seen him before? And then Harry's like, I've seen hundreds of kids this week. And then Marvin's like, well, let's see which house he goes into. So they start to follow
Creepy.
Kevin.
And Kevin does a smart thing. Instead of going home, leading the bad guys to where he lives, he runs to a church and he hides in the nativity scene to protect himself so they don't know where he lives. And Harry and Marv, they lose him. And then Kevin gets away and he runs home and he tells himself he's going to be ready when those two come back.
When they come back, I'll be ready for him, he says. That was really smart for him to hide in the nativity scene. And they think, like, hey, did he go into the church? And they're like, I'm not going in there.
I'll
They're
burn
like,
in hell.
me neither. They'll burst into flames,
Yes.
too.
Okay, guys, we're back. Jay went to get a massage.
I did.
And now we're finishing. Okay. So that night, after...
When they'll come back, I'll be ready
Yes.
for them.
So that night, Marv and Harry come back to the McCallister house, expecting to break in because they know that no one's in there. But when they get there, they see what appears to be a party going on.
And it's jumping. It's bumping.
There's people moving. There's people dancing. There's loud
There's
music.
people swaying. There's music. There's all the things. And Marv looks to Harry and he's like, maybe they came back. And then Harry's like, from Paris? No. And as the curtain is pulled, we, the viewer, see that it is actually young and adorable Kevin. And he has gotten mannequins
Moving,
and
yes.
this cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan. And he's like working them with the ropes and strings like a puppeteer.
Yeah.
And he's making them all move around the house to appear like their body's moving.
What job should Kevin have? Should he be an engineer?
I don't know, but he's going to make a lot of money.
Should he work for the military,
No.
attacking people?
No.
Some creative job. Should he work in special effects?
He's going to be that guy who like always has an idea that like never gets anywhere until one day he has an amazing idea.
And
he's a billionaire.
I feel like that's what I am. I think I always have an idea.
You think that's what you are?
Yeah.
Where's your $1 billion idea?
I didn't say I'm on the first half of it. I didn't say
Okay, because I don't see it. I haven't seen the,
Yeah, that'd be the
fruition.
problem.
Yeah.
Yes. But I feel like I'm the first half. I feel like I always have an idea. I'm always trying something. Anywho. So, back in Petty. Peter and the family is at their brother's apartment. They're gathered around. They're watching TV in French. They're not looking like they're having a great freaking time.
How could they? Precious baby, adorable, sweet baby angel Kevin is stuck, I feel like, in Chicago all by himself.
I feel like maybe half the family cares about that, and the other half is just like the TVs and
I can tell you
French.
who doesn't give a rat's ass.
Buzz.
Uncle Frank.
Oh, Uncle Frank. We didn't get a chance to talk about Uncle Frank and how terrible of a person he is.
Uncle Frank is the worst.
The worst.
He's horrible.
How does he have a wife?
I don't know why anyone would marry him.
I don't know why anyone would marry him. If that was my husband's brother, I'd be like, don't bring
bring him around here.
No, exactly. Do
Don't
not bring him
bring him
around
in
here.
here.
Because he's mean to my kids. She don't care. But
Right. She doesn't really like Kevin
he's mean to my
anyway.
kids. What did he say?
Cheapskate.
When he was on the plane, she was like, I forgot Kevin. He's like,
he was
I
like,
forgot.
if it makes you feel any better, I forgot my reading glasses. Are you comparing my 8-year-old child to your reading glasses?
And then he broke.
Right. Not paying for nothing.
Stingy.
The pizza came, and the wife was like, you can pay for it, Frank. He was like, I only have traveler's checks. Whatever the hell that means.
He hasn't paid for the flight. He hasn't provided the home. I'm sure the dad paid for the buses at least.
Right. He hasn't paid for not a lick of nothing. What'd he do? He the manager at the grocery store?
That's what he gives.
That's why he ain't got no
I was
money?
literally gonna say the management of like a construction company or something, but that's what he gives.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Of a shoe store or something.
yeah,
crap.
the manager, waste management. I hate him.
He's the worst.
I don't like him.
Down with Uncle Frank.
Down with Uncle Frank. He doesn't deserve a happy Christmas. And also Buzz doesn't care. Even I think is it his older sister or one of the older girls? It's
It's one of his sisters.
Okay, and she's like,
Yeah, while they're all sitting on the sofa watching these French shows that aren't in English, she turns to Buzz and she's like, how can you eat at a time like this? And then she's the only one of the few who's showing, concern for her little brother. And she's like, he's just so helpless. Tiny. And then she's like, you're not at all worried that something might happen to him.
Right.
And then Buzz goes on to say, no, for 3 reasons. I want to point this out.
He does.
He says, for 3 reasons. A, I'm not that lucky. 2, I forgot what the second reason is. Then he says, D, we live in the most boring neighborhood in all of America.
I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that, Buzz.
Because at first when he said for 3 reasons, and then he started off with A, and I was like, oh, interesting. I was like, maybe that was like a typo in the script. Then he went on to go 2. I was like, okay. And then he said D, and I was like, what the fuck?
I love that he does that.
I was like, well, what the fuck?
I thought it was hilarious.
It was.
Stealing
It was very comical. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
You're funny. We don't know if you're smart or not, so we don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but I thought it was funny.
So, back at the house.
Kevin's ordering pizza. It's time to eat. Num, 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 num.
Num, 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 num. So, the same delivery guy who delivered those 12 boxes of pizza delivers this exact same, not exact same pizza order, but it orders... Cheese. Thank you.
Cheese pizza.
Delivers a pizza of cheese to Kevin for himself. But Kevin, not being an adult, he has been watching this movie. They say what it's called.
Oh, do they?
It's like Evil Angels. It's like Evil Angel Souls.
Angels with Filthy Souls.
That's it.
Someone's asking if it's a real movie.
No.
It's not. Okay.
It's not. It was made just for this film.
Angels with Filthy Souls. Perfect. It's a
So
black
Kevin
and white movie.
Has been watching this black and white movie. What is it called, Jordan?
Angels with Filthy Souls.
Throughout the entire movie. He uses this to retrieve his pizza order.
Who is it?
It's Little Nero, sir. I have your pizza.
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
Okay. Well, what about the money?
What money?
Well, you have to pay for your pizza, sir.
That a fact. How much do I owe you?
That'll be $11.80, sir.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Cheapskate.
Hey, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10.
And keep the change, you filthy animal.
And the guy's like,
I want to
"Jeez."
pinpoint out that Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, is in the second one.
Oh.
Keep the change, you filthy
Filthy animal in
is
this
in
one. Is it the same movie?
It's the same movie.
And later on,
Maybe a
he's-
sequel, I guess.
yeah. Interesting. Love that. So he's off. And back at the airport, Kate is trying to get on any flight out of Europe, out of Paris. She's found this old lady and she's like trying to barter with her. She's like, I can give you $500. I can give you these
2 first class tickets.
Yes.
I can give you this Rolex watch.
They give you my earrings.
I give you my earrings and my ring. And then...
So I
the
can take
old
your
lady-
spot on the flight.
Right. So she can take her spot on the flight, leaving for America so she can get closer and closer to Kevin. But the old hag's husband comes along and he's like, Beth, what are you doing? Let's go. And she's like, oh, Biff, this lady has offered us 2 first class tickets if we leave Friday, $500, a watch, earrings, and a diamond ring.
Yes.
And then Biff is like, she's got her own jewelry, plenty of it. No, thank you.
Let's go.
Kate stops him and she says, please, I'm desperate. Mother to mother, I need to be home with my son. They fall for her little waterworks soup, blah, 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 blah. And she takes her spot.
I wonder if she told her that her son was at home by himself, because I think it's rude that she was like, okay, fine, I'll take the $500 and the first class ticket and your watch and your earrings.
No, I mean, like, yeah, that's fine and dandy and everything, but ma'am, I don't know you. I'm not about to give up my flight home so you can go do the same. No. I don't know you. Just because you give me this sob story doesn't mean I have to agree to it.
I would love
If a stranger came up to you and be like, hey, can I have your ticket for nothing so I can go home and be with my son? I'm giving you nothing but this sob story, and you have to give up your plane ticket for me. She has to come with something. $500, a Rolex. Yeah.
Okay, but I wouldn't take all 5 of those things.
Yeah, maybe just the $500 in the first class.
Right? You didn't know how to take her watch and her
And
jewelry.
maybe the Rolex.
It's not Rolex.
It wasn't
she thought
real anyway.
It was Rolex. She's like, do you think it is? Because you can have it.
And I would like to also point out that this is a grandmother from 16 Candles. One of the grandmothers. From
Oh, it
16
is. Oh, yeah. I remember her.
Candles. Shout out to her.
So back at home, Kevin is actually starting to miss his family. He's sitting in one of their beds. I think it's his parents' beds. He's looking at a family photo, and he's like,
With all 18 siblings that he has.
I wish they would come back.
Yeah, he's lonely. He's lonesome. It gets lonely when you're 8 years
Yes.
old and you're home alone.
But he's also taking really good care of himself. He's grocery shopping. He's doing laundry. He's gone downstairs and he's afraid of this heater in the laundry room in the basement. And he looks at it and he overcomes his fear. So like he's becoming an adult. He's not like the same little baby that his family keeps insisting that he is.
He's a grown man.
He's a grown
at this
man.
Point. He's lived many lives.
Yes.
In this span of a day and a half.
Yes. So Marv and Harry are back at the McCallister home, and they are now looking at a completely empty house.
Is it daytime?
Daytime.
It's not daytime.
It's daytime. Harry sends Marv like in there to go check, go by the door, see if anyone's home. So Kevin's in the kitchen and he sees Marv at the door and he sees like he's trying to get in, and Kevin starts to play the gangster movie that we talked about earlier.
Angel souls that are lost, souls of the lost angels.
Yes.
Angels that go to die with their souls.
Yes.
Whatever the hell.
So it's like a gangster movie. And in the scene that Kevin chooses to play, it's like this one gangster confronting this other gangster. Snake. Yeah.
Comes in looking for someone, and Johnny's in his office.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, Johnny, I just finished the deal. I talked to, I don't know what his name is. I talked to Billy.
Mazowski.
And Billy said that you owed me this much money. And Johnny's like, is that true, huh?
That's true, man.
And then Johnny's like, well, I'm in charge now. And he pulls out a gun, and then he blows Snakes to bits.
Yes. And then Kevin, right when the gun shooting starts, he lights some firecrackers, making Marv believe that he's being, or like someone's being shot at.
Yeah.
And he like falls away, tripping and falling
yeah.
away from the door.
Marv makes a run for
Yes,
it.
he runs back to the car.
He gets in the car.
And Marv tries to explain that this guy was shooting this other guy, Snake. Do you know a Snake?
Yeah, so Marv is talking to Harry, and Harry's like, what happened? And he was like, someone's beat us to the job. And Harry's like, what are you talking about? He's like, somebody's already in there, and it didn't go good. It went bad, and they started shooting up the place. And he was like, some guy named Snakes. And then Harry's like, Snakes? I don't know any snakes. And then Marv is like, let's just get the hell out of here. And just as when Harry is about to put the car in drive, he's like, hold on. Let's just wait and see who comes out. And then Marvin's like, why? Well, because if the police start asking questions about a murder in the building or in the area, wouldn't it be nice if they investigate us to give a face to a name so they'll leave us alone? And then Marv is like, okay, sure. So they wait outside of the McCallister house to see who the murderer is, and they wait for them to come out.
Yes. Cut to. Back to Kate. She has now made it to Scranton. So she went from Paris to Dallas. Dallas to Scranton. She's at Scranton. She's talking to a stewardess trying to book a flight from Scranton to Chicago. But they are, of course, all booked out because now it's Christmas Eve. They ain't got nothing. But I can't get you on a flight tomorrow morning. No. I need to be home to my son tonight. Right now. She didn't want to make it tonight. But I need to be home to my son as soon as possible. So she's arguing with this guy. But she's overheard by a guy named Gus Polzowski. Am I saying something? Polnowski.
Gus
Polinsky. Polinsky. Very nice guy. He happens to be the lead member of a traveling polka band. Jade, are you familiar with his work?
No.
What?
He sold over 623 albums.
Right. That's big
in
stuff.
Chicago? No, Sheboygan.
Sheboygan. They're traveling. You don't know my latest hits? Polka me down.
Polka me bear.
Polka me bear.
Polka me to the west. Polka me to the north. Polka me.
Yes. These are the questions he's asking Kate. Kate's like, I don't know you.
I'm sorry. There's a reason why you pulled me aside, right? Aside from talking about your polka album.
Right.
And then he was like, well, yes. Our flight has also gotten canceled, and one of our band members is going to get us a car, and we're driving to
Chicago. Oh, no.
Indianapolis,
yeah.
And on the way, we can drop you off at Chicago. And then she's like, oh my goodness, would you really? And then he's like, of course, it's no problem.
I looked it up, how far of a drive
It's a 10-hour drive.
Girl, she could have caught the flight in the morning.
She might as well have just caught the flight the next day.
I know.
That doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
blame her. Because, like, I don't know. I couldn't sit at home. Like, I have to be doing something.
No, I would have gotten my ass a hotel room and caught a flight in the morning. Because now you're sitting in the back of a van with these Pocono wannabe musicians who you don't know, who honestly might cut you up in half and
they're so nice.
feed you to their Rottweilers. You don't know what they could do. This could be all a facade.
They have the jackets. They have the music.
Like, why would she be like, oh yeah, totally, I'll come with y'all?
It was a different time.
Very large men and sit in the car with y'all for 10 hours.
I feel like this is also before everyone really super knew about serial killers. I feel like right now, everyone.
Serial killers were in
the
70s.
Yeah, they were. But I don't think it was as, like, no one's talking about them on podcasts. Like, you can't.
Right. Well,
I don't know if Forensic Files was as popping. Stranger Danger. She comes from a different time.
My point is, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just caught the flight the next day.
But I get it.
She accepts his offer, and they sit in a car for 10 hours.
Yes. So, back at the house, Marv and Harry are waiting outside the McCallister home, waiting. And then they see a little child come out the back door. He goes to the backyard. He cuts down a tree.
It's so freaking adorable.
He cuts down a tree.
On a ladder and cuts off the, like, top half of a Christmas tree. It's only like 3 feet tall.
It's adorable. It's perfect for him. And then they realize, hey, that's the kid we saw the other day. And hey, that's the only person that's here. He's home alone.
Marv, it look like we've been scammed by a kindergartner.
Yeah. And Harry wants to come. So they see it. Somehow for some reason they get out the car. And they're discussing the fact that later that night they want to come back at 9 p.m. to break in. Kevin must have saw them.
He overhears this
conversation. He overhears this conversation. So he's like, okay, I need to be ready by 9 p.m. tonight. They're going to come back and rob me. So later that evening, Kevin is on before.
That's so crazy because I literally would have just skirted out of there.
Yeah, he's funny.
I would have run away to grandma's, something.
Literally, he runs errands before this. So.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
He's like,
he
okay.
hears that these burglars are coming
At 9
back
p.m.
for him at 9 p.m. And what does he do? He like goes to the grocery store.
He goes to see Santa.
Yeah.
He goes to see Santa to ask him because he knows. First of all, he knows he's not the real Santa. He knows he's just a guy who works for Santa. And he asks him if he could bring his family back for Christmas.
He's like, yeah, I want you to bring back my mom, my dad, my siblings, my cousins, and if you have time, Uncle Frank.
Don't have time, please.
Santa is like, okay, sure, I'll see what I can do.
I feel like his face was like, bring back your family. I feel
He
like
probably thought his family was
his
like
dead.
dead.
I feel like his head was like, oh my God, this poor child.
Right.
His family's dead.
And he's like, okay, I'll see what I can do.
And he gives him a couple Tic Tacs and he sends him on his way. So after this, Kevin goes to church. Praise the Lord. And he walks in.
And then he's looking at the church as if it's like, should I go in? As if he's like committed a lifetime of sins.
He's like, I haven't been here for so long.
Right, like I haven't, me and you've got
Right.
beef.
We got
Like you're
beef.
8 years old.
Why are you always so mean to me?
Right.
Toby.
Why you always gotta pick on me?
Okay, so Kevin goes into church and it's pretty empty, but there's a choir performing. And he takes a seat. He's starting to feel, real remorseful about wishing that his family disappeared. And he looks over his shoulder and he sees his elderly neighbor, old man Marley.
And he's petrified.
He can't move. He's so scared that he can't move.
He's frozen with fear. And old man Marley then gets up and makes his way over to Kevin. And he leans over, looks at him, and tells him, Merry Christmas. And Kevin's like, thank you.
Yeah,
And then he's like, old man Marley asks Kevin if he can have a seat next to him. And Kevin says, sure. Old man Marley tells him, you're my neighbor, aren't you? And Kevin's like, yeah. And he's like, when you see me, you can say hello to me. You can speak. You don't have to be scared. There's a lot of things going around town about me, but none of them are true, okay? And then Kevin's like, okay.
I don't like these stupid rumors, but
right.
It is what it is.
Then he asks Kevin, have you been a good boy for Christmas? And then Kevin goes on to say, not really. I've kind of been a little shit.
And then Marley points out, hey, you see that girl, that little redhead girl in the choir? That's my granddaughter. This is one of the few times I get to see her because I'm estranged, basically, from my son.
Yes. Old man Marley confides in Kevin that him and his son do not have the best of relationships.
Yeah, they don't talk anymore. He really loves his granddaughter, and this is like one of the few times he gets to see her because he can't,
And then so the two go on this, 40-minute conversation about family and friends and yada, yada, yada.
And Kevin suggests that Marley should reconcile with his son. It's that time of year. Give him a call and, overcome this. And Marley appreciates the kind words. Kevin's like, okay, bye. The two part ways. And Kevin returns home and he begins to booby trap the house. He starts pouring water on the icy steps. He puts glass ornaments by the window. He makes the front door handle super hot. He puts grease on the basement steps and a lot of other things. Tar. Yes, it was tar. And a lot of other
things. Where did he get tar?
I don't know. You know what I liked about the third one? Of Home Alone? Huh?
I love the third one.
I love the third one. I love the things Sadie does.
The third one is probably the one we saw first.
You think? I don't remember.
I remember the third one longer than I remember the first
one.
Second one.
I love the third one. I think the mission.
I think that's the first one we were ever introduced to.
I love it. But I like how he uses a lot of stuff because their house is under construction. There's a lot of stuff laying around.
Oh.
So, but I don't know why he has tar in this one. So Kevin returns home. He booby traps everything, and after all this hard work, he tries to sit down for dinner to eat his mac and cheese, like Kraft mac and cheese,
his microwavable dinner.
Yes, I think he says a prayer.
And
before he can even touch his dinner,
the clock strikes 9,
and Marv and Harry descend upon the house.
And he's like, "It's go time!
It's go time!"
And he's strapped, he's ready. And he was like, I have to defend my house.
Yes, amen.
Bad guys. He's mentally preparing himself. Oh my goodness. What a brave little boy.
Brave.
What a brave little boy.
I wonder if he ever tried using the phone, if he was over there.
I don't
They don't show it, but did that even cross his mind to use the phone ever?
No.
To
Well, the
call
phone
anybody?
lines were down.
I know. But could they have been up by then? How long does it take to fix the phone lines?
Well, eventually he does make a phone call.
Yeah, at the other house.
Because he called the police.
Yeah, he should have been
Which I
called
don't
them.
know why he didn't do that in the
Yeah,
beginning.
that's what I'm asking. Like, how?
Why was that not your first thought?
Yes. Right.
But
You have to do
anywho.
all of this before calling the police. So the first thing Kevin does, so Marv and Harry, they go to the back door. And the first thing Kevin does is he takes out his BB gun and he shoots Harry in the groin. Because they're standing by the doggy door.
Yeah, they're at the back door where the doggy door is. Takes out the BB gun, hits Marv in the groin.
And then
Harry.
Yeah, Harry in the groin. And then Marv, for whatever
Puts
reason,
his freaking head
stupid.
in the doggy door. And then now Kevin takes that same BB gun and shoots him in the head.
Yeah. So they like, okay.
What if it was a real gun?
Yes. Let's split up. So Harry goes to the front door. And when he gets to the front door, this is where Kevin poured ice. So he starts to go up the first step and slips and falls and hits his head.
That should have been the end of the night for him, right?
I know.
Concussed.
They're old.
They're old.
I mean, honestly, if I
Harry's
fell
old.
that hard at this age, 29, I would be done for the month.
I was reading when I was doing, my notes.
Uh-huh.
I had read somewhere like a doctor had said like by like the third incident they would have been
Yeah.
like
I love that.
there would have been no getting up for them anymore.
Too much
It'd have
head
been
injury.
done.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let this kid win this one.
Right.
And then Marv, he tries the basement door, which is like down some steps, and he slips on the greasy steps and like runs
Yeah.
into the door.
So he goes through the basement. That door's unlocked.
So at this point, they both had some incidents with the steps, but they fall, hit their heads, and they regroup. So, the pair finally get inside, and they find more injuries, traps and injuries. I'm just gonna say what happens because a lot happens. So they get inside. So what they encounter, I don't know who gets who. What? Iron to the face. I'm pretty sure that's Marv.
That's Marv.
Hot door handle. Harry.
That's Harry.
Marv, after getting inside the house, he tries to go up the basement steps, and
Which is covered in tar.
And he steps onto a nail. Ouch. I would have been done after that. Harry makes it inside, and the moment he opens the door, his head set on fire.
Yes.
Marv says F it to the basement entrance. He goes through a window. He opens the window. He has no shoes on because his shoes got stuck on the tar, so he's barefoot. And he opens the window. He gets through the window, and he puts his foot down. He steps on the glass ornaments. And I will say, the scene makes it gross because like you can see the blood. Ugh.
Oh, can you really?
Like a little bit.
Oh, I didn't see any.
I hate that. So back to Harry. Somehow he walks in like the kitchen or like the dining room, and he swings the door open. There's like a fan with feathers, and it just blows on him.
Yeah.
That was probably the most like the
smallest.
Yeah, the smallest one.
The less painful thing they'd encountered the whole night.
So after that, I think they finally see Kevin. Kevin's waiting on the top of the steps for them. He's like, "Come get me." They try to go get him. He puts like little toy cars at the base of the stairwell, and they trip and fall. They try to ascend up the stairs, and then Kevin's got some hanging
Paint cans
that he starts like throwing at them. I think the first one hits Marv and the second one hits Harry. They go tumbling down. And at this point, they're pissed. If they weren't pissed before, they're like, oh my God.
If they get their hands on him, they will kill him.
They will kill him.
He will die.
So Kevin is trying to lead them or guide them up into the attic. So he lets them recuperate. They find their way. They find Kevin.
And he's like, hey, you better come get me.
You better come get me. And at this point, Marv gets his hands on Kevin.
He grabs his ankle. He grabs him by his precious little baby ankle.
Oh, your little child. And Kevin's trying to get away. He's trying to get away, but he can't. He's no match for the strength of a man.
And then while he's trying to get away, he notices that Buzz's tarantula is loose.
Mm-hmm.
So he just has enough reach to grab the tarantula and throws it onto Marvin.
Are
Marvin.
tarantulas toxic?
I don't think they are.
It's just scary looking.
Yeah. Or they might be.
Or do people like devein or like take their teeth
I
out?
don't know.
Or maybe some are and some
Are
aren't.
tarantulas poisonous?
Poisonous. That's what I was looking for.
I feel like they're not. Tarantula toxicity is a rare occurrence.
Oh.
There are over 900 species of tarantula.
Oh.
Jesus. And they are popular as pets. While tarantulas do possess venom, the vast majority of tarantula-related injuries occur as a result of urticating hairs.
Oh, they're little prickly
I
hairs,
guess
I'm
they're little
assuming.
prickly hairs.
Eek.
Anywho, so Kevin takes the tarantula, throws it onto Marvin, and Marvin loses his shit.
Yes, as he should.
And he lets go of Kevin while doing so.
Mm-hmm. He places it on his face. Did you say that?
No.
Directly on his face.
Yeah. And then Kevin makes a run for it. Somehow the tarantula then ends up on Harry.
Yeah, it grows onto Harry. Then Marv.
Marv, taking a crowbar, is like, Harry, don't move. And then Harry's like, what are you doing? Police stop. And he's like, no, don't move. And he takes the crowbar and whacks Harry across the chest. Of course, missing the tarantula. And only hitting Harry more. And injuring him further.
Yes. So, Kevin has made it to the attic. He's at the window and he has taken a string and he's attached the string to his treehouse and he zooms over to his treehouse.
Yeah.
Harry and Marv.
It's like a line. Like how, Kim Possible used to
Yeah, what do you
do.
call it? When you go zip line? Like a zip line.
Like a zip line.
Like a zip line.
He's got a zip line situation going on.
Yeah.
From the attic to his treehouse. He zip lines to the treehouse. Marv and Harry, for whatever reason, think to do the exact same thing. They never thought, hey, let's go downstairs.
They don't have the setup. They're like, let's just climb.
They're like, instead of being like, hey, let's just go downstairs, walk outside, and walk to the treehouse.
Yeah.
They're like, we must zip line to the treehouse like he did.
It's so
That's
stupid.
so
and you know
freaking
what? And I'm
stupid.
surprised it was Harry's idea. This seems like a Marv thing to do.
Right. That was so dumb.
And Harry's like, follow me.
That was just, why wouldn't y'all think to go outside and just walk to the treehouse?
Yes.
You're like, we got a zip line like he did to get over there. It's the only possible way.
This is so fast. This is the
so
fastest
quick.
way. Yeah.
By the time we get to him, he'll be gone. Which is fair. Whatever. So they follow after Kevin, and they themselves try to zip line, but the zip line equipment is over at the treehouse, so they have to just do it manually with their freaking hands. So they're they're climbing rope at this point. And so of course Kevin has like pliers or large scissors, tree scissors.
Yeah.
And he cuts the line from the treehouse to the attic. And of course, they fall onto their backs.
Yes. So
and I think they look at each other, and I think this is really the moment where they reconsider every decision that they've ever made in their life.
They should have. When I lost my shoes, I'm done. When my hair got caught on fire, I'm done. Let's just wrap this up. I think honestly, when I fell off the steps, I think that would have been my breaking point.
Yeah.
Because ain't no way.
That's a concussion.
It's disgusting. Ugh. I hate the idea of rattling my brain.
Yeah.
It'll make me sick. You can't there was no way that he would fall that hard and get back up.
And he did.
He did. There's no way.
He's like, I gotta finish.
What more do you need? You very robbed every house on the street.
I mean, that's gotta be a crush to your ego to have like an 8-year-old kick your ass. So they were just like, we gotta prove it to ourselves.
I know.
If nobody else.
Yeah. I guess after the third prank, it's like, I guess we have to keep going.
So they fall. They look at each other, and I think this is the moment that they really consider every decision that they've ever made at this point. And then Kevin gets out of the treehouse and makes his way across the street to one of his neighbors' homes.
Mm-hmm. That Marv and Harry had previously broken into, we can tell, because the basement is flooding.
Horrible.
So
Kevin enters the now flooded neighbor home, and he makes his way up. He goes through the basement, makes his way up to like the main floor, calls the police, and says, "Hey, my house is being burglarized."
Yeah. Why does he call the police?
Come save me.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. So he calls the police, and then
he heads upstairs because I think he wanted Marv and Harry to follow him the exact way he went inside the house, but they went through the front door or something like that.
Yeah.
So he comes up through the basement. He opens the basement door and sees Marv and Harry there. And he's like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Tucky mushrooms. So, just when he thinks it's over for him, they've got him red-handed. They pick him up, and they're saying all these awful things that they're going to do to him. They're going to crush his fingers and then eat him and whatever.
It's terrible. What would they have done, though? Like, what were they going to do?
They literally would have killed him.
You think? Oh, my God. That's
I
terrifying.
probably would have drowned him in the basement. That's flooded with water.
I know. All they had to do was, like, punch him, like, smack him around, and, like, throw him in the closet.
You know, my question is, why don't they have guns? For burglars, why don't y'all carry weapons?
Armed robbery? I don't know. You want a lesser crime in case you get caught? I know some robbers think like that. Is it armed robbery if there's no one in the house? I don't know how this works. Who knows?
I don't know. So, just as they're saying all the horrible things that they're going to do to poor baby, precious baby angel Kevin, enters old man Marley to save the day with his shovel.
Yeah. Not the shovel.
And he hits Marv and Harry on the back of their heads, rendering them unconscious. And he takes baby angel Kevin.
He says, come on, let's get you home.
And he says, come on, let's get you home.
And you know what he does? He brings that boy back to his empty house by himself. I was so like, not even bring him to his house.
Right.
I was like, you're gonna come by me.
He's like, I don't like company.
Yeah. Or like, I'm
You
gonna
can't
sit in
come here with
I
me.
should sit in the house with you. He's like, okay, but like, you're not gonna question him that he's home alone.
That's why he ain't talking to his son now.
Right?
That's
You don't
poor
ask no questions.
parenting skills. That's
Because
why his son not
what?
talking to him now.
Because what the hell? Because I would have a million questions. Where are your parents? Are they okay? Because I'm like, you're being chased by these burglars, so maybe they got attacked. I know they're out of time. He's just like,
That's none of my concern.
none of my concern. So, Kevin now back at his home. He's looking outside of his window and he sees the police
have arrived
at his neighbor's home, and they are arresting Harry and Marv. And having identified all the houses that they broke into due to Marv's habit of flooding them, they're going to arrest them for all the houses. Multiple burglaries.
So, like Harry was trying to tell him, don't do that shit because it's stupid.
Yeah.
And now their calling card has now
Link them.
linked them to every freaking burglary that they've ever committed.
Yes.
Idiots.
And damage. All that damage. I wonder if you could sue. Can you sue criminals for damage?
I know, right?
I know they're not going to pay me back, but I just want that in the books.
I know. And then so Kevin is watching out the window, and as Harry and Marv are driving off in the back of the cop car, Harry looks at Kevin, and Kevin flashes him a sweet little smile and a wave.
Honestly, Kevin, I would still be concerned because he knows where you live.
This is very
And
true.
I know he robbed a couple homes, but it's not murder. I don't know what the max it is.
Right.
Maybe 5 years for
Right.
robbing a house.
Right, he'll get out.
He'll get out.
They
I would be
should
concerned
move.
because he seems really angry.
Because, when they come back, he don't tell his parents, like, hey, by the way, we were robbed.
Right.
So they don't know.
They don't know. That's so crazy. That's so true. Which is weird.
Very crazy.
I wonder if eventually he does have to mention it because, his dad finds that go-to. I don't know if it comes out. But so Kevin back at home. He's bringing in Christmas now because it's Christmas Day all by himself. He wakes up looking for his mom Christmas Day because he's like, okay, now my reversal wish must work. But he goes downstairs. He's disappointed to see that his family is still gone. But just as he's about to give up hope, Kate arrives. She comes through the door and she says, Kevin! He says, Mom! And they look at each other and they reconcile. They say, I'm sorry, I miss you. I love you, baby. Come here. Tears, hugs, love.
I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
What
I
happens
don't think he likes her, and I don't think she likes him.
in the second one? They get in a fight because of the choir thing. Yeah.
Choir.
He's like
pushes Buzz. Or
yeah,
something.
and he like knocks everyone down. That was a little more like, dude, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
That was a little more like, yeah, you'd be in trouble for that.
So after their sweet embrace, Kevin turns to his mom and he's like, "Where's everyone else?" And she's like, "Oh, sweetie, they wanted to come, but..." Then, as she's saying that, they bust through the door, Peter, Buzz, and the 15 other children.
Everybody.
that he had.
I'd have been like, just keep immediate family only.
It was just the immediate family.
Oh, was it?
was
Okay.
just them.
Okay. I thought it was everybody.
It was. And then the mom's like, how did you get here? And he's like, we took the flight on Friday morning that you didn't want to take. We got here 2 minutes after you. So.
But come on, to be fair, I just can't sit in a hotel in Paris. I would at least have to get to America.
Yeah, and then once she got to America, she should have got a hotel that night and freaking screamed.
But I didn't like the way he was like, we just took that flight 2 days later that I told you to take. Are you fucking kidding me? You just wanted me to chill and sit around the hotel room while my son was here and I could. It would have been one thing.
Peter did.
It'd have been one thing if I could have contacted him and talked to him on the phone.
Yeah.
But the fact I couldn't contact him, we need to go see if my son's dead or not. Robbed, killed, stolen.
That's true. That's true.
Mm.
But the family comes in. They're all happy to see Kevin is still alive and well. And even Buzz turns to his little brother and says, hey, Kev, it's kind of cool you didn't burn the place down.
Thanks,
Buzz.
And I think that someone was like, we need milk. And Kevin's like, oh, I did grocery shopping already. Like, you don't need to.
Why was that her first thing? She was like, what's up with her milk? Because at the beginning of the movie, she's like, I have milk. Y'all better be drinking.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my God, we don't have any milk.
That's propaganda. Back in the day, they were really pushing milk on us. And this must have been part of it. They were like, drink your milk. That's bone strength.
Bone strength.
Someone must have paid them. The Milk Association. But Kevin's like, I did grocery shopping. And they're like, you went grocery shopping, Kevin? Maybe you're not a child and,
They're like, the kid can't even watch his own ass. And now he's going grocery shopping?
They're so rude. They're like, oh my God, you're 5. You don't have to do anything? What the
Right.
hell?
Yeah, he doesn't. He's literally 6 years old.
Yeah. Is he 6?
I think he's 8.
He's 8. But still, a child.
It's 3 years from 5.
Yes. Exactly. It's basically the same thing.
He's basically a toddler.
Boys mature slower than girls.
Right.
He might as well be 3 years old.
Right.
But yes. So, and then they ask, like, is everything okay? And Kevin does not mention the whole Harry and Bob situation.
So what did you do this whole time? And he was like, oh, just chilled out. So.
I wonder if he realized, like, they went on vacation. When does it click for him that his wish didn't come true and they just went on vacation?
I think he knows. He was supposed to go. So, yeah, he knows that they went on vacation.
No, he thought his wish came true. Because when he goes downstairs and he looks for the cars.
But he knew that they were all going to Paris the next morning, is what I'm saying.
No, I don't think he...
You don't think he ever knew? He had to pack a bag. They're like, go pack
Jay,
a bag.
I think he forgot. I think he thought his wish he's 8. Because he goes downstairs.
He's 8, but he's not 5, okay?
He goes downstairs. No, but he goes downstairs and he sees the cars in the driveway. And he's like, they didn't go to the airport. Because he thought they were to drive to the airport. He didn't realize that they took buses. So he was like, my wish did come true.
Right, I think then he did. But I think when they come back and he's like,
Hopefully.
where's everybody else? And she's like, oh, they wanted to
I hope. Yeah, I'm hoping it clicked. But
I'm pretty sure it clicked.
I mean, he went to Santa and he was like, can you make my family come back? He thought his wish came true is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
He thought his wish came true.
Okay.
I don't think it fully clicked that they just went to Paris and they forgot him, which is even worse reality to come to terms with.
He does say that though. He's like, did they forget me?
Yeah, he does say that, but he thinks that he's like, my wish came true.
I think he thinks his wish came true in the form of them forgetting about him.
I don't think so. Okay, maybe.
Like, I think we're both correct. Like, yeah, he thinks his wish came true, but how it came true is that they forgot him.
Maybe.
And went off to the airport with him.
Maybe. I don't think he thought they were ever coming back.
I believe we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Amen. So, yes. Some important things to note. Later, Peter was walking around the house and he finds Harry's gold tooth that came off, I think when he was getting hit in the head with a paint can.
He found his gold tooth?
He was like, what is this? And I'm assuming they mentioned that because maybe Kevin's going to tell them everything that happened. Because, like, where did this come from? And then Kevin goes to look outside the window and he's looking upon old man Marley's home. And he sees that Marley reconciled with his son, or like his son came over and he sees him hugging his granddaughter and his daughter-in-law's there. And they seem to be having a great time and everything worked out. Seems to have worked out when Buzz is yelling, Kevin, what did you do to my room? His room is a mess.
Yeah, he destroyed his room.
And cutscene.
Skirt.
End of movie. Great holiday fun. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Don't forget to like,
I
subscribe,
know.
rate, review, comment, all those fun things.
And don't forget to tell yourself in the beginning of the podcast to do that because I always forget. I'm going to just make a note when I make these podcast notes just to say in the beginning, Jordan. Because what the fuck?
Don't beat yourself up about it.
All right, guys. Happy holiday seasons.
Happy holidays.
Hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope
Happy Kwanzaa. Today's Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy all
Those other holidays
You
that I
can't
don't
think
know off the top
yes.
of my head.
I hope you don't have to work. And I hope you have off until the New Year's, baby.
So after the New Year.
So after the New Year's.
Like me.
Girl, I can't. Bless y'all, because I already looked at an email from work and these motherfuckers got me annoyed already.
Period. You can always go back to the Foundation for Louisiana.
Girl, I'm about to go apply to some jobs after this. Okay. After finish editing this podcast. I was like, I read those emails, so let me go apply to some jobs.
You're so funny.
All right,
That's
bye,
why you're
guys.
listening to a TikTok about government jobs.
Yes, Lord. Pay me
Hello.
my money. All right, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Talk to you later.